This is David Frazier interviewing Micky Neilson. And I've got a few questions for you, Micky. What motivated the idea behind the Warcraft children's book?
Well, a lot of folks who are playing WoW and have been playing WoW for a while now have kids of their own and are raising kids of their own. Chris Metzen has kids, I have kids, and we put the question out there, I believe it was last year, when we said, hey, if we did kids books, is that something that you folks would be interested in? And the community said yes, and so really we're responding to that and to the sensibility of wanting to provide something for our own kids. The way we shared Star Wars, growing up with our kids, same kind of thing with World of Warcraft.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, now with Thrall and Varian making an appearance in a children's book, it appears to be the case that they are the two main characters of World of Warcraft. However, the two characters often leave story fans polarized, and it is how often they're used as the outright basis for the story that earns them their detractors. How do you plan to toe the line between iconic and visible and overbearing and stifling?
Right, well that's something we're already doing. If you look at the last book we put out, Vol'jin, Shadows of the Horde, so obviously centered around Vol'jin as the main character. You look at the Alliance and the Horde graphic novels, and those are characters that we created that are not major marquee characters in the franchise. They're more like the kind of characters that you would actually play in the game. But Thrall and Varian, they're not going to go away. They are important characters, so they are going to be featured in the fiction moving forward. But it's not always going to be just about Thrall and Varian. So we're trying to balance it.
All right. Now, while this book appears to be a very lighthearted and unserious feel, do you have any plans to write canon, lore-heavy stories aimed at a younger audience? Possibly something like The Hobbit of Warcraft?
I would say that nothing is completely off the table as far as what kinds of books we're going to do in the future, but there's nothing specific that I can go into right now.
Understandably. Okay, and I don't know why fans are surprised about the children's books. Pearl of Pandaria had a similar feel, and it was a bestseller. So how likely is it that you're going to write more children's books? Any lingering plans or ideas?
It's, again, nothing that I could announce right now, but we're going to see what the response is to this first one that we're doing, and certainly Pearl of Pandaria did very well. It hit number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list, and if the community continues to respond favorably to those types of books, I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to do that.
Now, could we expect some new formats for licensed products and the return of old loved ones, such as monthly comic books?
There are certainly going to be new formats and new types of products that we're doing. So people should definitely keep an ear out, keep an eye out in the near future for some very exciting announcements. As far as the return of old formats, time will tell.
Okay, is there any update on Blood of the Highborn?
Blood of the Highborn most likely, and this is new information, but most likely will come out in digital form, and that's something that we're looking at right now. It's not an official announcement yet, but that's something that we're investigating.
And recently, Michael Stackpool joined the list of writers for the World of Warcraft novels. How was your experience working with Michael?
We had a really good experience with Michael. What impressed me working with Michael was how comfortable he was jumping into Vol'jin, Shadows of the Horde. Reading his first draft of the book, it really felt like he had written a few Warcraft books already. He felt very comfortable with the franchise. I think he did a great job, and overall we had a great experience working with him.
Wonderful. Well, are there any plans at Blizzard to continue working with Michael Stackpool?
We need to line up certain projects and schedules and everything else and see how all that goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if we work with Michael in the future.
Okay, many fans might have expected the Gallery Books 2013-2014 lineup to be revealed at the panel yesterday. Are there more plans? Are there plans to reveal the lineup at the New York Comic Con Blizzard Publishing panel or at BlizzCon?
There are going to be more announcements upcoming, but I can't specify exactly where those will happen.
Understandably. And what can you tell us about the content within the Diablo 3 Book of Tyrell?
Oh, the Book of Tyrael. So,
Tyrael, excuse me.
Book of Tyrael is the follow-up to Book of Cain. Book of Cain was very well received, had some incredible artwork in it, and we've really gone up to the next level, especially with the artwork. Some of these pieces, we have double-page spreads of some of the most gorgeous artwork you've ever seen. And you're going to see a lot of information from Tyrael, you're going to see a lot of information from Leah, and it's going to answer a lot of questions that people still have and questions that people had after they played Diablo 3.
Okay. And what happened to the DC Comics Starcraft OGN graphic novel? Many fans were looking forward to hear about this one.
So I'm guessing that this is referring to the Nova versus Kerrigan graphic novel. And if so, that's something that we may revisit in the future. I wouldn't say it's completely dead. I think it's a great idea. I would love to see Nova and Kerrigan in a graphic novel together. We certainly have the basis for a very cool story, so we'll just have to see what happens.
And what should fans expect in the upcoming World of Warcraft Bloodsworn to be released this August?
Bloodsworn is going to feature, the primary conflict is with Centaur, but there's a new spin on the Centaur, so there's actually a kind of the next evolutionary level of the Centaur. It's like these perfect Centaur, and they're working for a major boss who I can't reveal yet, but he's one of the big bad guys, and it's going to feature a horde. It's called a militia, and it's these different horde races that come together for this small band of fighters, and they have to work together and they have to work through their differences and everything else to go up against their enemy. Some amazing characters, really cool orc hunter, a Tauren that's just like this massive tank of a character, all kinds of awesome characters, undead. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great.
It sounds like it. Well, other than Tides of War, we haven't really seen any novels centered around female characters. Are we likely to see more in the future? For example, Sylvanas, Tyran, and Mora?
Sylvanas, Tyrande. Nothing specific to announce yet, but certainly Tides of War was very well received. People love that. And we enjoy putting fiction out there that has strong female characters, so that's definitely possible.
Well, wonderful, Micky, and I certainly appreciate your patience with us, and thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.